Hey guys, and welcome to my very first video on time management. Today we are going to be talking about understanding time. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of a guy named Jesse Itzler, but he is married to Sarah Blakely, who created Spanx, and my company hired him in 2018 to come in and be our motivational speaker for that year. And he said something that I thought was so basic, but really, really profound. And it was that he had counted the summers that were left for each of his kids being at home. And he talked about it as a concept of the summer of 18, which is a reminder that we only typically have our kids at home for 18 summers before they venture off on their own path. And I have to say, this concept kind of blew my mind, and it got me really motivated to start looking at how I use my time, living intentionally. And I think I had a daughter who was maybe like 11 or 12, maybe 13 at the time. So this guy promotes adventure, and he sold a calendar called, excuse my French, called the Big Ass Calendar, where he teaches people how to live intentional lives. So back then I kind of dove in and learned all about him, and then used what I learned from him to develop my own my own process, my own systems. And that is what I'm going to deliver to you over the next month or so, throughout all of this YouTube series on time management and mastering time. So if time is our most important thing, it's vital to know what our perception of time is and what we think about it. And I've created a worksheet for you that will walk you through 5 journaling exercises. So I have posted that below. It is in my personal Google Drive. So if you want, go ahead and stop this video, pause me for a second, and then download the worksheet. It's not something that we're going to go through in detail during this workshop, but it's something that you can use to follow along, and you do it afterwards. So perception of time. Do you see it as being something that is that's abundant? Do you feel like you have a lot of time? Or something that's scarce? Do you feel like you never have enough time and that you wish there was more time? To master anything, we need to understand what our thoughts are around it. And in order to identify what we're thinking, we certainly need to be journaling, like using a thought download to get it all out of our mind. This way we can see, are our thoughts driving us towards our goals, or are our thoughts driving us away from our goals? When it comes to time, prior to having this refocus back in 2018, I always felt like time, there was never enough of it. I always felt overwhelmed by the thought of not having enough time. I felt anxious and urgent to be productive all day long. But what I found was that mostly I was just reacting to my life and the things that were coming at me constantly. And I just felt like maybe like a little bit of a hamster on a wheel. And I wasn't creating a plan or using my time proactively. And when you do that, you can then tell the interrupters in your life, no. You can say yes, but maybe later. So once I started planning purposefully and understanding what I was thinking around time, it really gave me the opportunity to protect my plan. And the time that I set aside, I was really working to get the results that I wanted in my life. And that's what I'm going to help you do is, yes, we need a vision, and we need steps to take to that vision. I mean, usually we set these goals and we build the steps to achieve the goals, but then how do we actually execute the steps when we find ourselves mid-year unmotivated and we really haven't made that much progress? Well, you do it through daily plans and executing that plan. So the one kicker for me was that time is a resource, and it's just like money. And you create it, you waste it, you use it to create more. And you use it to achieve the things that you want in life. So many of us just go through our days without really thinking about it, as if, it was our last day. each hour is precious, but most people, including me in the past, like we just don't value it that way. But what I've learned is that time is one of the most significant resources in our lives. And like, okay, maybe we can't live each day like it's our last day. But we also don't treat each day like it's the only life we have. And so the crazy thing is that for me, when I started managing my time better, it actually, like, my mind started feeling more free. It was like this amazing, incredible feeling of just less overwhelmed, less anxious to get things done. And when I would feel overwhelmed or I would feel very anxious to get things done, I would do what I like to call buffering, which is, okay, I've got this big pile of to-dos over here and I don't really want to think about that because I'm supposed to be relaxing right now. So what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I'm going to buffer, whether it's social media, binging Netflix, like, you have like all these pending tabs open in your brain and all this stuff happening around you, but you're trying to be right here in this moment, getting rest. When actually, I just want to tell you something, folks, like that is not restful at all. So when I started being more purposeful, first understanding what I thought about time, working to change my thoughts about it, and then align my thoughts with something that were more supportive towards setting up time to get to my goal and having purposeful time set aside to get things done. Then when I was resting, and what I do rest, I just feel so free to do so because I already know what needs to get done and I have that scheduled at some point into the future. So, our time is a resource and it is something that's significant in our lives. And I thought it was, again, profound to think about time like money, that it's a resource, something that we use, something that we spend, something that we create, something that we waste. And, there's several different questions that I go through in this worksheet that I've put in the comments for you guys to download. But one significant thing that I did at a workshop that I went to a while ago, that was actually a weight loss workshop, is to do the last 24. So you sit down, you write down everything you did yesterday and write it in detail. I mean, be very specific. Driving, scrolling, watching TV, getting ready, dropping your kids off, whatever it is, getting coffee, stopping at Starbucks, like all the things that you did all day. And you can look at it in a couple of different ways. One would be looking at it as if you could redo it. So first you write everything down, ask your brain, what else did I do that I'm forgetting? Write all that down, and then look at it and say, if I had the opportunity to redo this day, what would I do differently? How could I shape this day? And then the second thing is to compare how much time you spent yesterday doing something that's going to get you closer to your goals. So looking at it, thinking about your vision or your goals or something you want to achieve in life, what did you do yesterday to get you closer to that goal? How much time did you spend yesterday doing something that truly lights you up? And I can tell you that in the past, again, when you're just reacting to the day and it's not proactive, there's probably not very much you're doing that's lighting you up. You feel overwhelmed and overworked and tired and you just want to escape. And when you just want to escape, what happens is you find yourself buffering and all of a sudden you're in the social media black hole, and an hour later you're like, what the hell just happened? So if you want to be a better parent, a more engaged spouse, a better teammate, a better leader, a better daughter, a better sister, a better brother, a better, a better servant in your community, then you have to think about how each 24 hours is aligning with whatever you want to achieve. So that's pretty powerful, huh? Like I just, working on this time thing has been like a huge game changer for me. So I just want you guys to take a second and just imagine if you lived each day with the same care that you would if you knew that today was your last day. Little morbid, but here's something to think about as I leave you today, that it might be your last day. You just never know. We're not promised tomorrow. And take it from me, I'm a cancer survivor. And, there is nothing that is more powerful than when that I never knew that there was a big tumor in my face right here, and that they were going to call me and tell me that I had cancer and had an aggressive form of cancer, and I was going to have to go through all this treatment and, trying to give me a really positive prognosis. And it is very clarifying when you know, like, whatever possible end is in sight. But why don't we live each day knowing that we are currently building our legacy? And so when I tell you that everyone has thoughts around time, how they use it, what it means to them, there's a lot of emotions like involved in time. So I am going to tell you that if you want to live a purposeful life and build your legacy, which I feel like we all do, we have to start with our thoughts. So I will leave you today in knowing that download that worksheet, go through the exercises, and I am going to be back here with several other workshops for you, and we will walk through this process together. Comment below and tell me what you're struggling with when it comes to time, or if you do the exercise and you have any aha moments, I would love to hear them. And hey, if you like this, stick around. My name is Kim. I help women break limiting beliefs and live the lives that light them up. Have an amazing day.